congratulations on the brand new single. We've been playing King of the Street on our show now for about a week, and our listeners are loving it. So, congratulations.
Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, the song didn't take too long to get together and organise. It was more the video clip. That was the hard slog, but a good reward at the end.
Awesome. I'll talk to you about the video clip in a minute. You said that it was a pretty easy song to come together. It's such a feel-good song and such a party anthem. Is that what you guys were going for with this track?
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird. Sometimes you'll be sitting in the rehearsal room and, weeks and weeks and weeks will go by, we write something and you rewrite it again, and you never end up, actually finalising anything and getting anywhere for months sometimes. And then songs like this we just came up with in a couple of hours on the night, and it was pretty much done. We barely made any changes until we finished the video clip. So I think it is because of that reason. It's kind of just, keep it simple and keep it fun. Don't overcomplicate things. Like less is more sometimes.
Was it one of those tracks where you knew from the very start what you wanted to do? Like, did you sit down and think, today we're going to write a feel-good track, or did it just happen to be that you guys were in that mood on that day?
Oh, good point. I know, because sometimes, it's just completely random. It just, someone will, usually Chris will bust out a riff that he's been working on, and then if everyone feels it, Alex will add some drums, get a bass line, and then I'll just start singing absolute gibberish just to get a melody. But in this case, I actually can't remember if we were like, all right, lighter-hearted song, guys, let's sit down and just make a bit of a party song. Perhaps, I can't remember, to be honest. So we wrote this one a while ago.
Now, you said that the video clip caused some problems. Tell us a little bit about the video clip. What happened there that made it such a difficult process?
Well, it was an arduous process just because of the limited budget of $0 that we had.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you can have, you can spend $5,000 on a video clip for a decent, team, whereas we didn't really have a team. We just had our good mate Charlie, but because he's just a legend, and he has, so basically this guy has filmed for Nat Geo in the UK, in Africa, and, he's a very experienced, renowned kind of filmmaker dude. He's submitting his TV show to Stan as we speak, and just happens to be, he was my housemate.
Oh, wow.
and one of my close mates, so he just did it for free because he's a legend. So that was fine. But yeah, you got the crew for free and the gear and all the hire, but without having a budget for, other actors or props or locations or anything else, it can make it quite difficult. So we just had to get really creative. So we just used general locations that are accessible to anyone, the beach and the pub and things like that, and obviously contact the venue managers or councils and get approvals first and plan it out a bit. And we ended up spending a bit of money, and then what happened is we got one of the he's pretty famous now. He's an Australian comedian named Josh Garlett.
Yep.
And we scraped together some money, what we could, and we paid him just because, we felt bad giving him nothing, and he's a mate doing us a favour, but that's how it worked out, and he did an absolutely legendary job. The guy with the mullet, the main character that's just running around being an idiot?
Yep.
In the video? Yeah. So that's Josh Garlett, and he's really blown up this year. He's done some pretty big things and works at Optus Stadium and different sports podcasts and everything else, so we're really lucky to have him on board.
So how much creative control of the video clip did you guys have, or did your housemate have some great ideas that he was able to come to you with?
Basically it was me and Charlie that came up with everything together. I mean, we've been friends since we were kids, so we've got that experience of working together. So, for example, I used to do stand-up comedy, and he writes, comedy scripts for TV shows and everything else like that. So I would write a bunch of bullshit, and then he would come back and go, all right, this part sucks, this part's going to offend too many people, this part's really funny and it opens to any audience, and he'll kind of like dissect what I've come up with. So we just bounced ideas off each other, and that's how we came up with the concepts, and then worked on, how everything would work from there. So I mean, the other guys could have input, but they're kind of more specialists in music, and that's kind of the extent of their creative expertise. So it was Charlie and I that kind of ran with everything.
Awesome. Now, the last time I spoke to you, you guys were just getting ready to do some shows after the lockdowns and everything that had been happening. You guys have been out there now, and you've done a show on the 9th, and you also played at the Blossom Festival. What was it like getting back out there and playing shows, and what was it like playing at the Blossom Festival?
Yeah, it's been great, man. Like, for example, we even played last night at the Indie Bar, or Indian Ocean Hotel in Scarborough. And, it's always just a good time, like people vibing and, drinking, having a good time, hanging out. And Blossom Festival was sick. So basically, it was a really kind of mixed, random lineup, because a lot of DJs and different artists doing, EDM, electronic and house and deep house, and obviously a bit different to, surf rock. However, it made it fun. It made it a pretty unique festival. And I think there was like 6 stages. Yeah. And there was like a dedicated live band stage, and that's where we played. And yeah, it was really fucking sick. We had a great time, and actually became mates with a bunch of different DJs. One dude that looked like a gnome. He had a big pointy hat and a big, giant Gandalf beard, and another DJ that had like a hula hoop, like dancing girl, and the hula hoop flashed and actually showed a story, and it showed Pokemon, and went through like a different series of Pokemon things. It was actually really cool. So yeah, we had a sick time.
Awesome. So you guys, your tracks, all that have come out last year and this year, have done so well with radio right around Australia. Will you guys look at hopefully coming over to the East Coast to do some shows, perhaps early next year?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the plan. So we just have to kind of look at how we plan everything out. Well, I think the kind of best way to do it, which was advice from our boy Mike at Evergreen, he basically said, well, team up with another band or bands over East, and then see what shows are theirs you can jump on, and then pay them back, and then chuck them onto our shows here where we're headlining or whatever it is, and then that way you have that kind of synergy between you. Yeah. So you've got to work out the logistics still, and obviously, these things cost money, and even if you do get some, payment and whatever else from the venues, and hopefully accommodation sometimes as well. I mean, there's always other associated costs. So some of the guys, work a couple of days a week as a dish pig and things like that. So they're not, they don't have too many spare funds available when they've got to pay for the rent and the bills and that. So that's probably the main factor. But hey, if someone wants to pay for us to come over, we'll go tomorrow. That was already agreed upon.
Awesome. So, well, mate, we cannot wait for that. But right now on our show, we are going to play King of the Street, and we're also going to play Still Broke back to back. So what would you like to say to everybody? What would you like to say to everybody out there before they take a listen to these 2 amazing tracks back to back?
Oh, thanks, Legend. Appreciate it. Well, look, just look after each other, look after yourself. The King of the Street song's definitely about having a good time and partying and going out on the weekend, but you've also got to have that balance and make sure that you do look after yourselves and your mates. So it's a bit of a contrast of both, and I reckon, just hopefully you enjoy it and have a thing and have a good weekend.